Hey there, future legal experts! Welcome to the Deep Concepts of Indian Laws, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of law. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone curious about legal principles, you're in the right place. We break down complex concepts, dissect landmark cases, and explore how law shapes the world we live in, step by step, one topic at a time. So, grab your legal pads, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. Today's topic would be the concept of public interest litigation and how it shaped Indian society from time to time. Public interest litigation, PIL, is a transformative concept in Indian constitutional law that refers to the legal process through which individuals or organizations can approach the court to seek justice on behalf of the public or marginalized sections of society. Unlike traditional legal processes where a specific individual or group files a suit, a public interest litigation is concerned with the greater good of society, especially in cases where public rights, environmental issues, or the rights of vulnerable communities are at stake. PILs empower the judiciary to address larger issues affecting the collective well-being, and they are an essential mechanism to uphold justice, democracy, and human rights in a country. One of the foundational principles of PIL is that it allows a person or group without any direct or personal interest in the matter to file a case if the issue has significant public importance. PILs can be filed by public-spirited citizens or organizations on the matters such as environmental protection, social justice, human rights, and the protection of constitutional rights. Courts in these cases often take a proactive role in ensuring that justice is served, even if there is no formal petition by an aggrieved party. For example, we can discuss the case of MC, Mehta v. Union of India, 1986, which is one of the most significant PIL cases in India, was filed by environmental activist MC Mehta, who approached the Supreme Court regarding the pollution caused by the tanneries in Kanpur and the industrial pollution of the Ganges River. The court took cognizance of the environmental impact on the public and passed a series of directions to control pollution and protect the environment. This case established PIL as a potent tool for addressing environmental concerns in India. The landmark case of Visakhapatnam, State of Rajasthan, 1997, was also a PIL which was filed following the gang rape of a social worker in Rajasthan. The Supreme Court issued detailed guidelines for preventing sexual harassment of women at the workplace, which later formed the basis for the enactment of the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition, and Redressal Act, 2013. This case highlighted how PILs can be instrumental in pushing for societal reforms, especially for women's rights. A PIL finds its roots in the Indian Constitution, particularly in the interpretation of Article 32 and Article 226. Article 32 guarantees the right to move the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights, while Article 226 allows high courts to issue different kinds of writs for the enforcement of legal rights. Traditionally, these provisions were meant for individuals whose personal rights were violated. However, PIL extends these provisions to allow the courts to entertain petitions for public causes, even when the petitioner is not personally aggrieved. The underlying constitutional principle behind PIL is the right to access justice, which is seen as a fundamental aspect of the right to life and liberty under Article 21. Over the years, the Indian judiciary has broadened the scope of PIL to make the legal system more accessible to the common man, especially those who are unable to approach the courts due to poverty, lack of awareness, or other social constraints. Now, let's deep dive into the public interest litigation of Ulgatelis v. Bombay Municipal Corporation, 1985. This case is one of the landmark PILs in India that addressed the rights of marginalized communities, particularly the urban poor. It was instrumental in shaping the framework for human rights protection, focusing on the rights of slum dwellers and their right to livelihood, leading to significant legal and policy changes. The case arose in the context of widespread evictions of slum dwellers in Mumbai. The Bombay Municipal Corporation, BMC, had embarked on a major initiative to clear slums from various parts of the city under the pretext of urban development and creating more space for economic activities. The slum dwellers, most of whom had lived in these areas for generations, were being displaced without proper rehabilitation or alternative housing solutions. Social unrest was a growing concern in the city due to these evictions, as it involved large numbers of working-class people who had no other place to live. The evictions were often conducted in a harsh and unregulated manner, with little concern for the basic livelihood or dignity of the affected individuals. This prompted the filing of a appeal by Olga Tellis, a social activist who sought the intervention of the Supreme Court to address the issue. The evictions caused massive social unrest in Mumbai as thousands of families were displaced, often without notice or proper compensation. Many slum dwellers depended on the areas they inhabited for their livelihoods, which included small businesses, street vending, and other informal economic activities. For them, eviction not only meant the loss of their homes, but also the destruction of their livelihood. The case highlighted the conflict between urban development and the rights of the poor, a struggle that is still prevalent in many urban centers. Honorable Supreme Court, in its judgment, held that the right to livelihood is a part of the right to life under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. It emphasized that the right to live with dignity includes the right to secure a livelihood. The Honorable Court also recognized that evicting slum dwellers without proper rehabilitation is a violation of their fundamental rights. The court ruled that slum dwellers could not be evicted without being given alternative accommodation, particularly where they had been living for a long period of time, and also observed that the state also have obligation to provide shelter to the homeless, and that rehabilitation should be a necessary part of the process of urban development. This ruling emphasized that the government must make provisions for alternative accommodation and not act arbitrarily when displacing people from their homes. The Olga Tellis v. Bombay Municipal Corporation 1985 case was a key turning point in using public interest litigation to address issues of social justice, particularly for marginalized urban communities. The social unrest caused by the forcible eviction of slum dwellers in Mumbai was the driving force behind the PIRL, which sought to balance the interests of urban development with the fundamental rights of the poor. The case significantly influenced legal frameworks surrounding slum rehabilitation and the right to livelihood, demonstrating how PIL can act as a powerful tool for the protection of human rights in the face of social unrest. It expanded the interpretation of fundamental rights under the Constitution and reaffirmed that justice should be accessible to all, especially the most vulnerable. And that wraps up today's discussion on the concept of public interest litigation and the landmark case of Olga Tellis v. Bombay Municipal Corporation 1985. It is an example where the public interest litigation played a crucial role in modern legal systems, particularly in promoting justice for the public, marginalized groups, and the environment, and that how public interest litigation can drive significant legal change and protect the rights of marginalized communities. It reminds us of the power of the judiciary in safeguarding human dignity in the face of urban development. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more legal insights and discussions. Drop your thoughts or any questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.